We've told you about 2 developments planned for the scenic Red Rock Canyon.
And one at a gypsum mine has been met with controversy. Meantime, Fox 5's Danny Maston tells us the developments at the site of the former Bonnie Springs Ranch are in the works.
Construction is now underway for a new housing development at the former site of Bonnie Springs Ranch. The 65 acres is now called the Reserve at Red Rock Canyon. 16 multi-million-dollar homes will be built. Gates blocked the entrance, but we did see that the construction was underway. Now, this is not the only housing development project in the works at Red Rock. We showed you construction crews clearing this land in October of last year. It sits atop the gypsum mine not far from the town of Blue Diamond. While it has not been named yet, the developer of Rhodes Ranch, Jim Rhodes, owns the plot of land off State Route 159. He has plans to build 429 homes on more than 600 acres of land. The county approved the project in 2021. The Las Vegas group Save Red Rock says this development would have a negative impact on the natural beauty of the area.
Well, the concern is traffic, congestion, safety, pollution, even night skies. It's nice to go out to Red Rock at night and to be able to see the stars. But if you have a city on the mountain that blocks the light, then you've brought the light up into the middle of the canyon.
Rhodes still has to receive approval from the Bureau of Land Management, according to the county, and will need to lock in utilities and suspend mining operations. We reached out to Rhodes for an update, but have not heard back. I'm Danny Maston, Fox 5 News, local, Las Vegas.